Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Zom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy Monday. Let's get it. We're back at it again with another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. Welcome on in. Happy motherfucking Monday. Wow. What a weekend, man. What a fucking weekend. Much to discuss here on the show this week. A couple things to go through. This week is Thanksgiving week. This past weekend was my birthday, so huge shout out to anybody that showed love over the weekend. You guys are amazing. Thank you. But without further ado, I'm your host, Zom Slays, and this is episode 201 of the Music Mondays podcast. So, you guys know the drill. We're gonna go through some weekly recap jazz. We're gonna kick off with that, and then we're going to go over this upcoming week or so, and then we're going to talk about the new season format. I spoke about that some months ago. I want to say in maybe like the summer. I was speaking a little bit about the new season format, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that here today, and then we're going to dive into some reactions and reviews. So you guys know the drill. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start off with some weekly recap jazz. Per usual, Music Monday's basic logo t-shirts are in stock and available right now. We still have larges, mediums, and smalls for anybody's purchasing pleasure. If you'd like to support the Music Mondays platform, they're going for $20 shipped flat, so just $20, PayPal or any other platform, and just let us know if you'd like to purchase one, because those are still available right now. You'll see some more promo go out for that before the end of the year, 100%. So that's important. Let's see here. So, per usual, early access Music Mondays Patreon content is available every single Tuesday following the live show. So, kicking off last Tuesday, we do launch early access Music Mondays Patreon content literally every single Tuesday following the live show. So, again, if you'd like to have the show in high quality for your download pleasure, or you'd like to just play it in high quality, or flip it and record it and things like that, that drops every single Tuesday on the Music Mondays Patreon, along with a couple extra live goodies per week. So if you'd like to have access to pretty much everything early when it comes to Music Mondays content, the Music Mondays Patreon is the way to go. So that was Tuesday. Heading into Wednesday, per usual, SoundCloud Sunday submissions open every single Wednesday. So again, if you're ever interested in SoundCloud Sunday, or you'd like to submit tracks for our weekly SoundCloud playlist, definitely follow us on socials and keep your eyes peeled for SoundCloud Sunday submissions. Those do open every single Wednesday. So outside of that, we usually do a Music Mondays podcast update on Wednesdays. And then we roll into Thursday with a brand new YouTube upload. Last week we spoke about the milestone of 200 episodes of the Music Mondays podcast. Now we're well under way to 300 and 250. So now we're kind of rolling into the 200s, which is pretty cool. Definitely. So, let's see here. That YouTube upload is live right now. So again, if you missed that segment from last week, episode 200, make sure you go check that out and go show the YouTube channel some love. New uploads every Thursday and every Saturday per usual. You guys know the drill. And then the audio version of the podcast drops every single week on Thursdays. So again, if you like to listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anything like that, that drops every single Thursday on all audio platforms. So make sure you go check that out and go show that some love. So Thursdays are pretty stacked for sure. Thursdays are definitely pretty stacked. And then we actually dropped a third piece of content on Thursday. A brand new SoundCloud exclusive is live right now with the homie Hi Braden, who's a Music Mondays podcast veteran and familiar face here on the show. They let us host a brand new single titled Distance. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. And huge shout out to Braden for the exclusive drop on our SoundCloud. That was Thursday. Following Thursday, heading into Friday, we dropped a brand new article with a bit of a winter update. So I kind of broke down what's coming in the winter, what's coming over the course of the next couple months, and things like that. So definitely go check that out. That article is brand new and out right now. We got Dry My Eyes in the chat. What's going on, homie? I hope you're well. Happy Monday. Let's fucking get it, baby. Let's go. So a brand new article is out right now. That was just a quick review by me. So definitely go check it out and go check out our wonderful library of pieces that we have available right now. So That was Friday, and the other thing we dropped on Friday was the monthly volume 10. So the monthly being a monthly SoundCloud playlist where we kind of break down the tracks for the month or the previous months or so, and kind of put together a compilation of staff picked tracks when it comes to the monthly. So that's kind of a more exclusive playlist that we don't really curate for, but the monthly volume 10 is available right now. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. Those are some exclusive staff picks over there. So definitely go check out the monthly. But we had a pretty stacked weekend, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, brand new article out now by me, monthly volume 10 out now. And then we rolled into Saturday with the 200th episode of the Music Mondays podcast available on our YouTube channel. So again, if you want to go watch the show on YouTube or pretty much anywhere else, that is available on all platforms every single Saturday. So again, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel because we do upload every Thursday and every Saturday. And you can catch the full version of the Music Mondays podcast over there on YouTube if you prefer to kind of just throw it on in the background, or you prefer to kind of watch the show back on YouTube. That is available over there, as well as the rest of the Music Mondays podcast episodes. So, let's see here. That was Saturday. So heading into Sunday, SoundCloud Sunday Volume 162 is available right now on all platforms. Definitely go check that out and definitely go show that some love. That was just curated by me this week, actually. So huge shout out to everybody that submitted, and huge shout out to everybody that made it and supported the playlist. SoundCloud Sunday Volume 162 is available right now. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. Let's see here. So that was Sunday heading into Monday. Here we are now with the weekly recap. So that's pretty much everything that happened at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so. A couple of new drops, like I said, the monthly, new exclusives, brand new articles out, all that good jazz. So definitely make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date with everything that we're doing here at Music Mondays. Is the post-birthday hangover real? Dry my eyes asked. Actually, surprisingly not. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all, actually. Great question. It's definitely been worse. It's definitely been worse for sure. But yeah, no. We're good. We're good, thankfully. Usually, well, actually, I was kind of expecting it to be fucked, but nah, we're good. We're good. It's all Gucci, thankfully. Because heading into a Monday like that would definitely suck for sure. Definitely suck. So I made it out. I made it out okay. I definitely made it out okay. That's a fact. So let's see here. Weekly recap is good. Let's talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. So a couple things coming through. The big three is what we're working on right now. The Music Mondays Patreon is getting a nice overhaul, and we're gonna hook up all of our Music Mondays Patreons with some fresh goodies and a pretty much new update. And everybody at every tier will be getting a new reward added, or kind of a new addition to each tier. So that update is going to be coming first over the course of like the next week or so, I would say. Throughout the rest of November and then early December, you'll see a lot of that stuff roll out when it comes to the Music Mondays Patreon update. That's important. Outside of that, the Music Mondays Awards will be taking place at the end of December as well. So we'll be doing the same categories as last year, and I'll be working closely with the staff to kind of get some nominations out and make sure we get the votes out and things like that started. That'll be something that, again, very important. And then, of course, we're going to cap off the end of the year with a little bit of a Music Mondays merch update when it comes to what's left of our merch and things like that. So you'll see that kind of happen as well. So those big three things are going to be very, very important when it comes down to closing out the end of the year. And then you'll see recruiting and a couple of those other things kind of open up as well. But that's kind of like the bigger scope of things over the course of the next couple of weeks. But it will kind of be what's taking place, along with, of course, some surprise goodies and things like that. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled. And, of course, make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date with the Music Mondays Awards and everything else that we had planned for the rest of the year. So that's pretty much what's coming over the course of the next week or so. Nothing too major as far as anything new. You'll see a lot of the updates roll out, along with again some more surprise stuff. So that'll be good. That'll be really, really good. Again, the big bulk of 2024 is going to be tying up a bunch of loose ends, right? So you see a lot of the playlist updates go out. you'll see a lot of the new articles kind of go out, and a lot of the old stuff that's backlogged go out. So, a couple things happening, but the end of the year is going to be good for us, definitely, for sure. So, a couple more things that I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about the new season format as well. Drama has actually redeemed Hydrate for 1,000. Let's get it. We're gonna sip some coffee. All right. So, recruiting. So you'll see a new flyer kind of go out when it comes to recruiting before the end of the year, definitely. But per usual, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for writers, journalists, curators, designers, media people. You want to do short form media, you want to do long form media. You feel like you have any talent or any content that you want to contribute to the Music Mondays platform, definitely let us know, because we are looking to fill out at least 3 more roster spots before the end of the year. So again, if that's something that interests you, definitely let us know. Send us an email, send us a DM, anything like that works. Definitely get in contact with me or anybody on the Music Mondays staff, because we are definitely going to be hammering down on recruiting over the course of the next couple of months for sure. So that's a definite. But again, per usual, if you have any other questions about Music Mondays roles, you want to know more about them, definitely feel free to send me a message or go check out our role guide on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, where I kind of break down the Music Mondays staff roles, what each role entails, what kind of content you'll be doing, and things like that. So definitely go check that out, and that'll actually be getting updated for the 2025 season. That'll be cool. So, recruiting, definitely. Now that we got that spoken about, let's talk exclusives. So, like I said, we kind of dropped our latest exclusive last week when it comes to the homie Hi Braden. So, huge shout out to Braden for letting us host that over there on the Music Mondays SoundCloud. But we are looking for more SoundCloud exclusives. If you have an unreleased SoundCloud track that you'd like to have hosted and promoted on the Music Mondays SoundCloud for free and across all of our social media, definitely let us know, because we'd like to kind of continue that and make sure that we keep rolling out our SoundCloud content when it comes to exclusive tracks, right? So that's definitely something that I not only want to focus more heavily on in the new year, but I want to continue it now, right? So again, if you have an unreleased SoundCloud track, definitely let us know if you'd like to have it hosted on the Music Mondays SoundCloud. And of course, we're only interested in unreleased material, so feel free to do whatever you want with the track afterwards. You want to go put it on all platforms and things like that, that's great. But again, we're only interested in the SoundCloud version. So definitely let us know. Send us a message, send me a message, send us an email. We'll be happy to kind of speak about that with you, for sure. So outside of that, same goes for YouTube exclusives. We are on the hunt for audio, visuals, AMVs, music videos, anything unreleased that you'd like to have hosted and promoted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel of almost 300 subscribers and across all of our socials for free. Definitely let us know, because that'll be something that we kind of focus on as well, alongside SoundCloud. So YouTube exclusives are definitely on the table as well. So definitely let us know if that interests you at all, and send us a message, send us an email, things like that. So, let's see here. I think that's pretty much everything major. So we talked about the weekly recap. That's great. We spoke about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. Great. Recruiting and exclusives. Excellence. Okay. So, for this week's discussion segment, I figured since we're officially starting a new season of the Music Mondays podcast, this does mark the first episode of season 6. So for those of you that are kind of new here and didn't really notice how I kind of categorize the Music Mondays podcast, this will be pertaining to that, and we're going to talk about the new season format. So this will be cool. This will definitely be cool. I spoke about this again kind of in the summer prematurely when we were 25 episodes away. I think we were doing 175 or something like that. And I spoke about the new season format and kind of how I wanted to start doing things for future seasons. So again, just as a prerequisite, nothing is changing on the show whatsoever. This is more of a content thing, so we can get more content out of the show. So when it comes to the Music Mondays podcast and how we did our seasons, we did our seasons by every 50 episodes, right? Because originally I never did the show on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, and we never were uploading the VODs over there up until episode 40-ish. So the first 40 episodes are still available on my personal YouTube channel. So that's why I chunked them out into blocks of 50. So I called 1 to 50 season 1, season 2 is 50 to 100, and so on. So this past season, season 5, was 150 to 200. And now that we're on episode 201, this will technically mark episode 1 of season 6. But I don't think we're going to do 50 episodes anymore. Obviously, the show, like I said, will still be live every single Monday. The schedule's not changing. But what is changing is the seasons. So I think we're going to do more seasons, right? And I think we'll do seasons every 10 episodes. So I think the reason for that being is getting more content out of the show. I think we do a 3-4 hour show and like we could be utilizing the content a bit more, right? And what I actually thought of doing was doing top 10 submissions for every season. So therefore we wouldn't have to wait 50 episodes to kind of, end a season and have 50 episodes worth of submissions to kind of go through when you want to pick like a top 10, right? So if we chunk down the seasons into 10 episodes, I can take those 10 episodes and pick, 10 submissions from each of those and kind of come up with a top 10 for each season. So that was kind of like my thinking behind that, and to be able to give a little bit more love to everybody who submits to the show, but also kind of give Music Mondays a little bit more content as well to kind of show off the show and show everybody how many episodes we actually do a month and things like that. So I think that'll be the new format going forward. Again, nothing's changing when it comes to like the frequency of the show. We're still being live every Monday. All that good jazz is still the same. The only thing that is changing is, like I said, the seasons, right? So we're going to be condensing the seasons down to 10 episodes instead of 50, right? And, thinking back on it, like, I never really had an excuse not to, right? I mean, it's not like I really, like, started off and was like, oh, yeah, I had all these plans per season and X, Y, or Z. I just chunked them out into 50s because of how we were uploading the show at the time. Because Music Mondays didn't even have a YouTube channel yet, right? Back when we were doing, like, the first 50 episodes. So I never really had a reason to like condense it like this, but now that I think, we've become such a consistent show and we're getting consistent submissions and, we do what we do, right? Like we promote the show on audio platforms, we put it on YouTube, etc., etc. But I think to even further that deeper and to kind of like utilize the show in like a little bit more of a deeper way, I think, doing shorter seasons, but also kind of like highlighting each season is going to be pretty sick, so that'll be kind of the case going forward. And once each season ends, probably like that following week, we'll put out a graphic of like the top 10 of, season 10, season 11, etc., etc. Because they're only categorized on seasons, or no, by seasons on, I think like most platforms. They don't do it on like Spotify for creators, but I know on like Spotify, the app, you can categorize by seasons. You can definitely categorize by seasons on YouTube now. There's a couple ways to kind of like view each season of the show. But going forward, it'll be a lot easier to kind of like see what each season was like. And I think obviously with it being 10 episodes, so that's 10 weeks. So say we started, well, technically we are starting today. So 25th, 2nd, 9th, 16th, 26th. So roughly like mid-January is when this season will end. So we'll be able to kind of like talk about the past 10 episodes in a little bit more of like a deeper light. You know what I mean? I think that'll be like really beneficial for the show. And something that I really wanted to do, So that's kind of like the rough format for now. And then obviously we'll have a surprise graphic like every single month and everybody's name on it and things like that. So I think that'll be really sick to kind of, once again, like highlight the seasons and promote the seasons, but just to promote the show and get a little bit more out of the show for everybody, So that's that. Per usual, this will be uploaded on the channel, so make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these videos, these artists, and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. All right. Excellent. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'm really excited for a new season format. You know what I mean? I really think that'll be fun. For sure. So. Try my eyes 1,000 bits. Caffeinating process. Let's fucking get it with the 1K bits, man. You have to do that. Let's go, baby. A little bitties in the house, man. We love that. We love little bits. Let's fucking go, man. Much fucking love, my friends. Let's get it. Little 1K coming through. Okay, so you guys know the drill, man. You know what time it is. I think Drama Eyes definitely came through at the right time with the 1K. Because man, we are here. It's that time of the night. Let's get into it. Look at the little 1K bit badge up there too. Let's fucking go, man. Shout out Drama Eyes. Thank you so much, my friend. Let's fucking go. Um, so yeah, you guys know the drill. Let's get into it. Let's talk music money submissions and things like that. Let's get into it. So those of you that are new here, um you guys will kind of understand the process now, but for those of you that are kind of regulars, you pretty much already know the drill. So per usual, tweets are always in the same format every single week, and they'll always read artists and creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on November 25th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/SonPlays, which is here and now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. Like I said, these tweets will be in the same format every single week, but the only thing you need to really look at is the date. So make sure you're not submitting for a show that's already happened or anything like that. Make sure the show is the next Monday kind of coming up, and you'll be good to go. And of course, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've pretty much reacted to everything here on the show. Everything from obviously vocals, instrumentals, music videos, photography, videography, YouTube edits, writing, poetry, you name it, we've reacted to it, right? For one reason and one reason only is that most underground creatives are multi-talented. A lot of engineers also produce, a lot of producers also design, a lot of designers also do vocals, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So we kind of want to give everybody a fair chance when it came to the Music Mondays podcast and how we react to content on here. So if you feel like you deserve a little bit of spotlight here on the show, feel free to kind of drop your links and whatever it is that you do down below, because we're always down. So let's see here. So per usual, we do have a 4-hour show limit just to make the show a little bit more palatable to watch back. One could argue that a 4-hour show is still a little bit much to watch back, right? But definitely a little bit shorter than the previous 5, 6, 7 hour shows that we used to do back in 2020 and 2023. And of course, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch on Mondays. So just to take a little bit of the pressure off the staff, we do like to keep it to a 4-hour show limit. And then, of course, per usual, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. The only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Not only does that help spread our message and grow our platform, right, but you're also paying respect to everybody else that does wait for their submissions and links to be reacted to every single week. So kind of when it comes to that, I mean, you're kind of getting a double win there as well, because you kind of gain access to a whole community of wonderfully talented and friendly creators, right? So I think that's kind of a double win in my book for sure. But that's the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you submit. And of course, per usual, Patreon subscriber submissions are played first every single week here on the show. So if you're subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, whether that be the basic tier, the advanced tier, or the premium tier, you gain access to a whole bunch of goodies, but you also gain access to one main perk, which is the Music Mondays Fast Pass. So for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays Patreon, all of your submissions will be played first here on the show, which not only guarantees your submissions to be played each show, but for the duration that you're pledged, you'll be played first. So again, for example, if you pledge tonight, the next 4 weeks, the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd, or whenever you decide to discontinue your pledge, all of your submissions will be played first here on the show. So just keep that in mind. But outside of that, I don't think too much that we do have to discuss. One other thing that I want to talk about is submissions closing. So submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. So not only to, give us a little bit of a head count and kind of see what we're working with when it comes to the show. We are a live show, so we like to keep things a little bit free flow and make sure that we're kind of, giving submissions a fair amount of time, but also kind of getting to each submission promptly, right? So that kind of gives us a little bit of a head count and leaves you guys about 6.5 days to get your submissions in, right? So you could quite literally cook up a song tonight and have it done and submitted by next show. You know what I mean? So you have plenty of time, but just keep that in mind. A good rule of thumb is that if the show is already live, submissions are closed. So keep that in mind. But outside of that, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Music Mondays podcast. If you have any other questions, concerns, or anything like that, feel free to send us a message, send us an email, anything like that. Or go check out our How to Submit to the Music Mondays podcast YouTube video on our channel. I kind of go into a little bit more deeper detail when it comes to the show, how the show came to be, why we take submissions on Twitter, etc., 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 things like that. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love if you're interested in a little bit more Music Mondays lore. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, I did notice tonight we have a shit ton of Patrons, and we love to see that. Let's fucking go. So we have a ton of submissions in general, but we do have, I believe, like 4 or 5 Patrons tonight. So first, in order, we got the homie TDG. We got Drama Eyes, who's in the chat chilling. Huge shout out to Drama Eyes. And then the homie Laveries. That's 3. Got the homie Jordan. That's 4 Patrons tonight. That's crazy. All right, so that's all we got. Okay, so 4 Patrons tonight. So first off, we're going to kick off with the homie TDG, and then we're just going to go down the line. So, TDG, it's been a while, man. It's definitely been a while since we heard from the homie TDG. Like, I think it's been almost like a year, maybe? Like a good year plus, but a very talented hip-hop artist, TDG, has been hard at work, and they submitted a track titled To Be Determined, and their caption kind of caught my eye this morning. Fully prod, mix, and mastered by me. I just subscribed for the fast passage. Just a heads up, so let's get it, TG. We appreciate that. This is my hardest song ever, so let me know. My hardest song ever is crazy. So when I had read that, I was like, holy shit, because, you know, for those of you that have been around the show for quite some time, 2022 era, 2023 era, you kind of know that TDG has had quite the path, right? And has really spent some time developing their craft. For sure. So calling a track their hardest song ever is really, really crazy. So I'm interested for sure. So let's pop this open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. I'm down. All right. Give it a quick pause. 6 hours ago. Cover actually goes hard as shit. That's actually nuts. Okay. So we got a little private track actually. Not released yet. Okay. So we got a little exclusive Music Mondays premiere. I'm down. All right, Till the Grave, TDG, To Be Determined. Let's go. Wow. Okay. So this is one that's really crazy for me, right? For those of you new viewers in here, you guys definitely might not know the TDG lore, but the maturity is really showing here. Like the progress is definitely shining. I could see why TDG would kind of um claim that this is their hardest song. Yeah, I mean, I there's definitely a couple more that come to mind, but as far as this one goes, yeah, I'd agree. I definitely agree for sure. Let's break this one down because lots to talk about here. Definitely lots to talk about. Um, we're gonna talk about three things. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of "To Be Determined." So, back to the caption. Fully prod, mixed and mastered by me. So, excellent. I mean, this is what every artist should really strive to be doing, right? I think getting like fully produced songs by you is like the ultimate goal. Just because it just makes things so much easier, but also like it's a good way to practice your own style and sound and really like push yourself, right? Obviously not every artist like needs to do that or has to do that, but I definitely think that's a good way to go about things. Um, you don't want to like need somebody is basically what I mean. You know what I mean? I think getting that point of like actually fully crafting your own track is definitely a goal for sure. But the instrumental is great. I think the instrumental might be one of TDG's best alone. Like just the instrumental on its own is really really attractive and definitely has that like OG like unique trap style. It's like kind of not like um cookie cutter. It's definitely got this like real unique flavor to it. So the instrumental's great. I would say the mix is also really solid. Drums are really shining here. Melody's really solid. Nothing I would like ultimately complain about here at all. Definitely nothing I have any gripes with whatsoever. I definitely think this is like in kind of like a good middle ground for what TDG was going for. So definitely no gripes with the mix at all. Thinking back on it, yeah, like nothing really came to mind. I mean, sound selection's great too, but instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Um, hmm. I mean, melody's definitely up there, right? I mean, melody's definitely bringing like that like that like fast paced, like high energy, high octane kind of feel. But I'm gonna have to go with drums here. I feel like the drums and the 808 in specific is like really fucking solid. So for me, it's got to be the drums for sure, no question. I mean, melody's a close second, but drums clear here for me. I really like the drums. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. So we haven't gotten too many TDG tracks that are like self-engineered. I mean, we've definitely like seen a few, but this is by far one that clears as far as quality goes. You could really tell over the last couple months and, the last time that we heard from TDG that they've been really developing their mixing and mastering skills, right? Which again, like I said, I think for most artists is like ultimately the goal. So the more tracks you kind of do like this, the more you're going to understand like what you kind of not only enjoy as an artist, but you're going to kind of, get ahead of the curve when it comes to that. So as far as this mix goes, I mean, definitely no real gripes here. It definitely has that like TDG kind of flavor to it, right? It's like got that um almost like muddy raspiness to it, but in like a good way. It's definitely like hitting that TDG kind of sound that we're used to, but in TDG's own way, right? So I think the mix is definitely solid for where it is for sure. Nothing that I would like ultimately change here. Nothing like super super clashy or too overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Nothing again that you could like ultimately really have a gripe with. So vocal mix definitely solid. Um Vocal shining star. I was thinking about this one, during the track. I was like, writing's up there, right? But I think what I really enjoyed about this, like subconsciously, was the flow and cadence and delivery. I think the flow and cadence and delivery is very mature and is like a big telltale sign that TDG has been like really working at their art and really working at their craft and really trying to like get to that new level, So I feel like flow, cadence, and delivery definitely clears here for sure. So Instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, flowed cadence and delivery. Writing's a close second. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. These type of covers, man. You guys know how I feel about like the IRL kind of like regular covers, right? So I'm already a fan of those to begin with. But when it comes to this sort of style here, right? This is one where it's like got that like deep fried like almost like meme style, but not really. And sometimes these covers end up going really really hard, right? They end up going really really hard, especially with like the what is it like the Snapchat menu on the right side, especially for like a single. I think it's like just the right amount of trolly, but it's also like kind of like it gives that like good underground feel to it as well. You know what I mean? Bro's person is buffering. Yeah, right, right, exactly, exactly. Like I think shit like this is like just the right amount of trolly. So I do enjoy this cover a lot. I mean, anytime you're going that like IRL direction, I think is like super solid. You know what I mean? So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme to be determined. I mean, ultimately, you could really like look for like small lines and bars where you could like pick out a theme, right? But this is one where you definitely want to like absorb TDG as the artist currently, right? Especially like considering like how much they do enjoy the song. I think this is one where you definitely want to enjoy the writing, the lyrics, and kind of like get a good feel for where like TDG is at the end of 2024. You know what I mean? Definitely not one that you want to like dig super hard for a theme. I mean, I'm sure you could, but like I said, definitely one you want to focus way more on the writing for. Definitely. So, with that said, huge shout out to TDG. It is nice to hear from you, my friend. Let's fucking get it. Huge shout out to you for the submission. Make sure you go follow TDG on SoundCloud. They're 3 followers away from 1K. So go give them to 1K over there on the cloud. Of course, TDG is on Twitter. They are 2 followers away from 210. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers, man. We're like 4 away. We keep inching back and forth, man. We keep inching back and forth. We need to hit that 300. We are close. We're close as shit. But make sure you go sub to the channel and go show all these artists some love, man. Let's fucking get it. If you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you for showing Music Monday some love, my friends. So, we left off with the homie TDG. Up next is the homie Dry My Eyes. Now, Dry My Eyes had a stellar 2023, 2024. They kind of took a little bit of a break, but they're back now. And they dropped a fucking banger. I can't wait to react to it here on the show. So, our second patron of the night, very talented multi-genre alternative artist Dry My Eyes, has submitted a track titled Life Like. Let's fucking go. Devil Killer, what's good, homie? I hope you're well. Welcome on in. Happy Monday. Let's get it. Let's pop this over to a new tab. Let's see what we got here, man. Because it's been a while. So this will be exciting. This will definitely be exciting. All right. Well, let's see here. 4 days ago. So super, super new. Well, let's see what we got here from the homie Dry My Eyes. Like I said, it's been a while. This will be very interesting. We got some lyrics in description as well. Okay. Lots of love in the comments. Yes, per usual, love in the comments. We love that. All right, let's get into it. Dry My Eyes, Life Like. Let's go. To the pot, and I really couldn't ask you, but I really did a lot. What the fuck? Even then, if I was not, I don't wanna Hmm. Wow. Holy shit. I mean, like, what a great first track back, if I'm being honest with you. Like, man, this one, I feel like, Young Vader here, this is pretty well out together. What they mean is this is pretty well put together, and it really is very well fucking put together. Like, this is, man, holy shit. So, I feel like for the main reason here that this is like such a great track to like, drop after taking a little bit of a break is it's honest. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very honest. And I think that's what's important here. Definitely. So, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Lifeline. So, let's talk instrumental. I love the choice. I feel like Dry My Eyes really has like a very unique choice of instrumental and a very unique taste, and that's something you can always count on. Is like they're not like super experimental or like outside the box, but they're just unique enough for Dry My Eyes that it always like piques your interest, and you're always like, that's such like a it's got flavor in it, you know. So I like the choice off rip, right? Um, hmm. So the mix is great. I mean, for the instrumental itself, there's definitely nothing I would change here. It sounds very tight, very crisp, clean, clear, straight to the point. Nothing that I would like really ultimately change with this or like have a gripe about whatsoever. Um, the drums in particular have a nice snap to them, and like the melody's great. It's not doing too much. I feel like it really is in like a nice middle ground area. So I wouldn't change anything about the instrumental mix like at all. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. You know, drums. You can make a good argument for drums. You really could. But the melody here sets like such an interesting mood. It's almost somber, but not really. You know what I mean? It's kind of hitting that like interesting middle ground. So I'm kind of torn between the two, and I do like the structure as well. But I kind of want to go melody just because it's a very dramatized kind of melody. It's very it's somber, but it's not sad. It hits this interesting middle ground where it's almost story like. I want to say, you know what I mean. Story like is very much the area that we're going to. So for me, definitely the melody, but drums are a close second for sure. A close second. Um, so instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. So the vocal mix is very interesting here. I like it personally because if you know Dry My Eyes and their music, they always have had this very interesting style when it comes to how they like their vocals. It's such like a solid mix of like pure emotion mixed with like the proper amount of effects. So it hits this very interesting middle ground where it sounds so honest, but it's very like high quality. It's very interesting, right? And like, you know, mixing is something that you could like constantly always improve, right? You could improve it, you know, throughout your whole career, right? Until you kind of hit that like middle stride and you're like, okay, like this is like what I want to sound like. So this is definitely a mix to me that's like forever evolving in quality, but also just like artistic progress in general. Like it's just a mix that's always getting better. So for me, the vocal mix is in like a nice, appropriate spot, especially for Dry My Eyes and, their particular sound that we're used to here on the show. So, vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. This one's tough because two things come to mind, right? Definitely flow and cadence and delivery. I think the flow and cadence and delivery here is like outstanding. But the writing is so honest and such a story that I feel like it's pretty hard to ignore the writing. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of rough to ignore that. So I mean, and even like the flow and cadence and delivery, like near like the last quarter of the song, really picks up, and you're like, damn, like this is fucking crazy. Like, so you kind of get torn between the two almost, But I mean, looking back on it, right? Um, the writing is just beyond honest. So I really feel like we could go writing here. You know what I mean? I really really feel like we could go writing for sure. I mean, flow and cadence and delivery is such like a close second, but the writing is just it's it hits the most when it's honest. It doesn't have to be emotion filled or anything like that, but if it's honest, you can almost guarantee that at least one person is going to be able to relate to it. So for me, writing, I feel like it was well thought out for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. I love the simplicity of this. Right. These are the kind of covers that personally, like me, Slays, I enjoy these covers a lot. Um, Simple, straight to the point, but super high quality. But also like I guess I'm always a fan of nature anyway, but something about these like foliage kind of nature green s covers like always hit that sweet spot for me. And like you always saw these covers in like tracks that like I personally enjoyed. That's kind of why I've always had like this like bias towards them. But it's simple, straight to the point, especially for like a single man. Um, Throw a nice little filter on it, do a little bit of like a touch up, and you're good to go. You know what I mean? Because it's solid. So for me, for a single, aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, um, lifelike. I mean, it's very interesting. It's very very interesting because I felt like this song obviously came from the heart, right? But it came from like a current mindset, and you could like sometimes you can just tell where an artist is at. You really can just tell where an artist is at and like what they're doing in life. And this is one where um when you kind of get that like second burst of motivation, or you're kind of like down in the dumps for a bit, and then you kind of lock in for a second and you're like, yo, I need to get my shit together. And there's so many lines in here that you could kind of pick out, and you could see that um Dry My Eyes was writing nothing but honest lyrics, truly honest. Like there's nothing here that like um really wasn't relatable to me, but it's also like the skill of it. You know what I mean? Because it's not like it's just spoken word. Dry My Eyes is an artist that really likes to put their stories in such a unique fashion that I feel like a lot of these tracks will kind of, grow on you after time, and you're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's how much, I don't want to say effort, but that's how much thought is being put into these, right? And, you know, that's kind of where Young Vader's comment comes in. And I agree that's very well put together. And one of those tracks that, like if you don't relate to it, you can still enjoy it, but you most likely will relate to it for sure, for sure. Um, Quite the track back. I mean, this is the first time Dry My Eyes has dropped in 3 months. So I feel like that's like such a great way to like come back and kind of um really almost like touch base with your art. I feel like that's what this is like touching base with your art and really kind of like almost giving like an update, and at the same time kind of getting those thoughts out and using music as a little bit of like a therapy session so you can get everything out without a filter. You know what I mean? This is one of those tracks that's like important for the artist, and like anybody who kind of relates to it just relates to it, you know? So well done, my friend. Well done. Definitely can't wait to see what you do next. Huge shout out to Dramize. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 6 followers away from 110, so that's a W milestone. Go show them some love in the club. Of course, make sure you go follow Dramize on Twitter. They're 3 followers away from 110, so make sure you go show them some love in the bird at, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 sub-roonies. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it. Huge shout out to you, Dramize. Let's fucking go, man. That was fucking crazy. What a great track back to. Like, that's such a great, like, just a comeback, you know what I mean? Like, that's we love to see that. We love a good comeback. Drop a little honest heater like that. Yep. Okay. So you guys know the drill. We left off with the homie Dramize. Up next is our third patron tonight, the homie Laveries. One of those start writing and upload same day. Yeah, no, and you're very good at that too. Like, I feel like doing that as an artist is always like beneficial in so many ways. You know what I mean? Like, it's never gonna be like a bad thing to kind of like capitalize on the creativity. I think that's something that like you always got to do every once in a while. You know what I mean? You always got to do that for sure. But so yes, our third patron of the night, the homie Laveries. They submitted a track titled "Prove It." So Laveries has been going strong with their recession rap rollout, and a very talented hip hop artist submitted "Prove It," like I said. But their caption is, "Oh no, it's almost over." I think this is like track 8 of 9. So we've officially reacted to pretty much every song on this project. Almost. I think we only have like 1 or 2 more left. So, that'll be very interesting. But let's see here. So we've reacted to quite literally everything up to Olivia Rodrigo. Now, we have Prove It up next. Title goes hard. I agree. Recession rap definitely is fire. So Prove It is track 8 of 9. So unfortunately, we are almost done, but also it's kind of exciting because I want to see what these last 2 tracks are like. Let's get into it. Laveries, Prove It. Let's go.
Ghost.
Tag is hard. Ghost.
But we still gon' do it. Late night studio, bitch, I'm zooted. Over time my hours cause I'm in love with music. They don't know me yet, but they just they ain't tuned in. Yeah, they really just be clueless. I might be insane, but you can't call me stupid. Somehow I became the main undisputed. Believe when I say it or let me prove it. Yeah, let me keep it simple. I just been running through these instrumentals. They can't kill me like I'm Ryan Reynolds. And just like him, I'm tryna make a fucking billion. Or like Elon, I might pop a Tesla pill. My bitch wanna snort a key, but I'm just tryna chill. When I get behind that ass, yeah, I know it's real. We gon' fuck, she'll get her titties done, that's a deal. If y'all from a bigger titties, you can send her over. All she gotta do is let me bend her over once. She can tell me speed it up or I can go slower. I be swapping out my bitch like it's double dutch. I got one like a saint, she can't do no wrong. Got another bitch that be up in them centerfolds. Got another bitch that say she want a dick to go. And another with a dito, you already know. And I got that one that I keep by my side. And without her, I think that I might die. I could never tell her lies, that won't feel right. But I just might fuck around and do it out of spite. I got one like a saint, she ain't do no wrong. Got another bitch that be up in the centerfolds. Got another bitch that say she want her dick to go. And another with a dito, you already know. And I got that one that I keep by my side. And without her,
Very interesting.
I could never tell her lies, that won't feel right. But I just might fuck around and do it out of spite.
session rap. I miss it. I need it. Their art is just not reflective of the times that we're living in.
Great fade out too. Okay, so this one's very interesting. Giving Lavender Town for some reason fire. I agree. The sample definitely has that like eerie kind of feel to it. Um, you know, this is one out of the whole project. I feel like could be very underrated. I really feel like this could be very underrated. Especially with it being more towards the end. This is one where if you're not listening to the project front to back, you could easily miss this one. You know what I mean? You could easily miss this one. And this is another indicator that to me, recession rap was such a nice a level up for Laveri's and once again, solidifying that the instrumentals and the sound direction kind of like got them out of the box and really like pushed them to like elevate to that like next level. This is definitely like solidifying that, especially like 8 tracks in, for sure. So, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of "Prove It." So, hmm. So Laveri's worked with the producer Ghost on this whole project very closely. And this is one where I could see Laveri's definitely like getting like a set of beats and picking this one for sure. But um this one definitely probably took a little bit more creative liberty to figure out, right? And kind of like, plot this one out structure wise and lyrically. You know what I mean? So I like the choice out of Laveri's like taking a lot of risks, and I think that's the number one takeaway from this project too is like they were taking a lot of risks. You know what I mean? They were really going outside the box and like really like pushing like a little bit more of like a alternative R&B narrative here. Not that they really didn't do that before, but this is another instrumental in the project that I feel like pushed Laveri's outside the box, which I think is sick, and every artist should be doing that for sure. Um, but instrumental mix is great. I mean, nothing glassy to overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Drums cut through nicely. Sound selection is great. I mean, like, it's really been like that throughout the whole project. So I can't really sit here and say I'm shocked about that. But, yeah, vocal mix is great. Or no, instrumental mix is great. For sure. No question. No question. Instrumental Shining Star. Mm, you know, Drama Eyes mentioned in chat about the Lavender Town kind of a vibe to this. And also, like, you know, the drums kind of come to mind a lot too. I feel like the drums can like really be overlooked here because Laveri's really slid on this. So if you're not really like paying attention to the drums, you could definitely like tune them out, as you could with any song, right? But this one in particular, the drums were really, I want to say like well thought out, and the patterns were great, and like I said, the sound selection was good on them. So I'm leaning towards drums here, but I do like the melody a lot. I do like the melody a lot, but I'm kind of leaning towards drums. So let's go with drums for sure. I mean, Ghost has like obviously proven himself to be like very talented throughout this project. So I'm gonna go with drums, no question, definitely. But again, like I said, not really a shocker. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again has been, throughout the whole project, a good level up for Laveri's. Laveri's has really leveled up not only their quality but like how they style their vocals, certain effects, and this song even with like the drowned out effects toward the end, like in the outro. I feel like all that was like really fucking solid. You know what I mean? Like really solid. So again, kind of taking risks, but also like just pushing that like mixing and engineering progression as well. So when Laveri's kind of worked on this and started getting masters back and started finalizing the project, um, you could kind of tell that they were going into like a new style of quality and just a new style of mixing in general. So that's why I'm kind of big on this one, man. The whole project is just mixed to like that next level of where personally I think Levaries would flourish in. You know what I mean? They're very versatile artists, and I feel like this project definitely proved that. So a vocal mix solid on this, definitely proper amount of effects, crisp, clean, clear. Not too crazy though. Kind of like sticks to the Levaries mo, but um kind of ventures out a little bit too, which I think is great. Um, so vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. Um, hmm, you know, writing's definitely up there here for me, but I do like the flow and cadence purely for the fact that again, Levaris was like teetering on like going outside the box and just trying a new flavor of style. You know what I mean? So for me, flow and cadence and delivery, but you could definitely argue a point for writing for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery, the stock theme. So, for those of you that are regulars here on the show, I've spoke a little bit about the Recession Rap cover, but I do want to speak about it briefly here again. I love this style. I'll always love this style. This has got that like classic vinyl CD esque kind of feel to it, right? But it also still has that like upper tier of like album feel, which I think is also great. You know what I mean? But I think the thing that like really topped this one off though is the like wrapping around it, like the plastic packaging, right? I think it just kind of like really gave it that nice final touch. And you have Levaris and Ghost up top, Recession Rap down below, Money in the middle, Parental Advisory down bottom mid. Great. You know what I mean? Great. Screams album to me, and would kind of like I said last week, would look really sick as like a physical copy too. So simple, aesthetically pleasing, but most importantly, like as long as it fulfills the creative vision that you have and you enjoy it, shit, definitely run it. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, prove it. So I wouldn't say that there's like a super deep theme here. This is one of those tracks where you have a couple bars and you pick a title based off those bars, but it's also, you know, it's got that like lyrical attitude to it where it's your typical Levaries party esque, braggadocious esque kind of writing, but it's also got the style to it as to where, again, like I said throughout this whole reaction, they're really pushing like a new creative direction for themselves, by the instrumental choices, by the flows and cadences, by the mixing. You know what I mean? Like they're really trying to level up here, and like that's the number one thing throughout this whole project is like this and like I think like track 2 track like 2 and 3 were very like outside the box for Levaries, and Prove It's definitely in that group to me as well, where I feel like if you take those 3 tracks, you could see that Levaries has this like insane potential to like push their kind of like creative vision and like keep improving Levaries the artist, right? So this is one of those tracks for me. So really well done, and again, one more thing before we go, like the track order or the project order here is great. You know what I mean? Is really really great. I mean, especially Prove It, like come on, definitely solid for kind of the end of the track list there for sure. But regardless, well done. Huge shout out to Levaries. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Levaries on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Levaries on Twitter. They are 3 followers away from 130, so make sure you go show them some love in the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. And if you already have, you're dropping likes, dropping comments, you're even just viewing the videos. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Thank you. So, let's see here. We left off with the homie Levaries. Up next is the homie Jordan. Now, Jordan has, it's crazy. Jordan has usually been kicking off the show, but this week it's the last spot. So certainly last but not least at all, we have the homie Jordan, a very very talented, Alternative artist submitted a track titled When That Day Comes from the recent project with Deadlighters titled Long Wing. Well, let's check it out. I'm down, man. I think we've done... How many tracks out of this project did we do so far? I know we did Cocoon. I know we did... Let's see here. We did Poison. I think we did... Nah, we didn't do Under the Sun. I think we did 2 of these officially. Or maybe like Long Wing, the title track. We did a couple of these, but this will be interesting. This will be very, very interesting. So this week they submitted When That Day Comes, and this is actually track 11. Jordan releases so much music, man. Fucking talented. Absolutely a workhorse. Absolutely. All right, so track 11, When That Day Comes. A very interesting title here. And this project has so far been a little bit of like a grab bag. It's been a mix of styles, you know? So I wouldn't say that you could like expect something here, you know? It really could be anything. So let's get into it. Deadlighters, Jordan, When That Day Comes. Let's go. Fire cover. Or background image, I should say.
The journey is not based on increasing success, rather on increasing awareness. I think I finally reached that point in my life where I need a stronger word than pain. Pain is running your life, is running your life, is running your life. Pain is running your life, is running your life.
Yeah. Promise you I don't expect much, just promise me. When that day comes, please don't say none, don't bother me. I've been looking for a way to being here, it's hard for me. I will never get over hoping you're proud of me. I mean, probably this part of me control a lot of me. No one's stopping me, ain't got no sleep, been hard to read. I'm starting to think that my heart just shrank. I'm out of sync the way I used to think. It used to be enough.
Holy
Used to
shit.
sleep enough. I can't make this up. I used to give a fuck. Used to dream of love. Barely sleep for months. I'm not giving up. Used to be enough. Used to be enough. Used to be enough. Used to be enough. Used to sleep enough. Used to dream of stuff. Barely keeping up. I was feeling stuck. Barely sleeping months. Feel like giving up. I'm not giving up.
Wow.
This used to be enough, used to sleep enough, used to dream of stuff, barely keeping up. I was feeling stuck, barely slept in months, feel like giving up. I'm not giving up, I'm not, This used to be enough, used to sleep enough, nightmares wake me up, never sleep enough, losing faith and trust, used to believe enough, used to sleep enough, used to give a fuck. Promise you I don't expect much, just promise me that when that day comes, you don't say none, don't bother me. I've been looking far away, being here is hard for me. Might never get over hoping that you're proud of me. Used to give a fuck, used to dream of love, barely sleep for months, I'm not giving up. Used to be enough, used to sleep enough, used to dream of stuff, barely keeping up. I was feeling stuck, barely slept in months, feel like giving up. I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up. Now let's have some fun, I'ma try my luck.
Holy
Let's see
shit.
if it suck. Now I'm trying to run, used to sleep enough, used to be enough. Nightmares wake me up, never sleep enough. Losing faith and trust, used to believe enough, used to sleep enough, used to give a fuck.
Wow. Holy fuck. Oh my. Wow. Great fade out. Um, that is such a standout track on the project. Like that is such a fucking standout track. That is insane. That is actually insane. Track 11. Wow. Wow. That is holy shit, man. Um like I have a lot to say about this one. This might be my favorite track on the project so far. It's just as much of a vocal track as it is a instrumental track, and it doesn't even feel like 4 minutes. Like there's so many insane things about this. Um, well, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of When That Day Comes. So, um, let's talk instrumental. So collaboration between Deadlighters, presumingly 420 Legend. Yeah, I know 420. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, and it clocked in at 420. Right, definitely. Um, so the instrumental being a collaboration between Deadlighters, and boy, is it! It's such a story. The instrumental could have been a track in itself. The instrumental is so well structured and so well thought out as far as sound, and it really hits that like Deadlighters Jordan, um, alternative cloud esque style that we kind of know them for, right? So I feel like the instrumental is very much on point. Um, Instrumental mix is fucking great. There's a lot of live instruments, and when it comes to these live instrument based instrumentals, you guys know the drill. Sometimes they can be weird as shit to work with, and anytime you come out on top with like a solid mix for one of these, it's always great, always great. So for me, no gripes on this at all. Melody's fantastic, sound selection again is great, drums are great. Nothing that I would really change on this at all. You know, the whole project so far, or what we've reacted to here on the show, has really had a solid mix. To be honest with you, like nothing that thinking back on it that I would change over anything so far. So, not really a shocker, but something you always want to point out for anybody new here. Um, so instrumental mix very solid, no question. Instrumental shining star. I mean, it'd be a crime not to say structure. It would be a crime. I mean, sound selection is great, drums are great. I feel like the melody's great too. But the way that this is structured out over the span of 4 minutes is fucking great. Like it's really telling a story. Um, it's rising when it's supposed to, it's dropping out when it's supposed to, it's hitting all the right marks. And I can't really say I'm shocked because Jordan's also a really, really fantastic producer when it comes to telling a story. So not really a shocker there, but that's something that I immediately noticed was like the structure of this whole instrumental was really, really well thought out. Like really well thought out. So um definitely structure. No question the structure. Um so instrumental solid, let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. A very interesting vocal mix, but not really out of the ordinary for this project or really what Jordan has been doing as of lately, right? I feel like their vocal mix has been somewhat experimental, but somewhat consistent as well. Of course, depending on the mood, that's something that we've spoke about here. When it comes to Jordan, is they're very flexible artists and can really like flex their mix depending on what kind of track they're doing, right? If they're doing some like old school hip hop shit, it'll be more crispy raw vocals. If you're doing some more alternative shit, it can be a little bit more muddier, maybe some more distortion in there. You know what I mean? So Jordan's very versatile when it comes to their mix, but I feel like this mix in general on this track definitely hit the mark for me. No gripes at all. Um, Especially for like the writing and the lyrics. Like I feel like it was the perfect mix, because it still had that like honesty in the voice, but it made you lock in and kind of like listen up. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh shit. So for me, vocal mix very solid, very very solid. Um, and it's just impressive too. Like just as like a side note, it's impressive that Jordan like can do that consistently, but also like still have like so much room for improvement. You know what I mean? It's really insane to think about. Um, so vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. I kind of want to almost say structure again, but also like again, it'd kind of be criminal if you didn't pick the writing. You know, like the structure was just like overwhelmingly obvious here, but the writing, honesty is the best policy. You know what I mean? And I feel like Jordan really wrote their ass off here. Like really, really wrote their ass off. So for me, let's go with writing. I mean, flow and cadence and delivery too throughout the track was really flexible. So I feel like you could definitely make an argument for flow and cadence and delivery. But let's go writing here. Let's definitely go writing here. Because again, I feel like Jordan was back telling stories and really giving their perspective of just life in general and where their headspace is at too. So really well written. Really, really well written. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So I spoke a little bit about the Long Wing cover here a few times, but just to kind of touch base on it a little bit again, it always gave me that like camo night vision-esque kind of flavor, right? So I was a big fan of this one once it first hit and Jordan was submitting their first track from this project. So I knew that this was going to really bang. So I'm probably biased here, but I do enjoy this one. It does have that like project feel for me. Especially for something called Long Wing, like very simple, straight to the point, but also like very attractive to the eye. You know what I mean? So I really like the creative direction there. But again, like I think the most important part here is definitely the album feel about it. Like it definitely feels like an album, you know? The colors of fire, I totally agree. I totally agree. Colors are great here. So again, aesthetics definitely on point, you know, no question. Deadlighters, Jordan, Make More Creative Junk, they're always kind of very on point with their aesthetics. So, overall theme. Now, this is kind of a loaded one. I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief. This one's definitely a bit loaded, right? In terms of you know, what it could mean to the listener. You know, it's very obvious like what it meant to Jordan. This is definitely one of those like therapeutic tracks that you were just able to spill your guts on and get a bunch of shit off your chest without kind of, you know, being unhealthy about it. You know what I mean? And really write down some real shit. But also, you could look at it in a couple different ways, right? I mean, like when that day comes, that day in particular could mean a few things, right? That day being when you finally hit your definition of success and you hit all your goals. When that day comes, don't hit me up. Or the day that I'm finally, you know, separated from the thing that has been plaguing me. When that day comes, don't hit me up. You know what I mean? So that day, you know, is a variable that I think is up to the listener, you know, and what this song meant to Deadlighters and Jordan is up to them. You know what I mean? But it's one of those ones that if you get it, it's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks, and if you don't, you're still gonna enjoy it for what it is sonically. You know what I mean? So lots of important heavy tracks here tonight, for sure. But Jordan's always done a really good job conveying their feelings in their music and really making a lot of their tracks relatable, whether that's intentional or not, doesn't really matter. From the perspective of a listener, this is definitely something that I feel like a lot of people either can relate to or have related to in the past. You know, so well done, my friends. Well done. Definitely my favorite on the project so far, but we have barely scratched the surface of this one. So pending favorite. But with that said, huge shout out to Jordan, Deadlighters, and Make More Creative Junk. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 480. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird out, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We see you guys dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz. We appreciate it. Let's fucking go. So, that does conclude all of our Music Mondays Patrons of the night. Huge shout out to our Patreon team over there. You guys are amazing. We'll be doing a little bit of a Patreon revamp before the end of the year, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But huge shout out to all our Patrons here tonight. Huge shout out to TDG, Drama Eyes, Laverius, Jordan, King Mark, Ryuki, Kruger, and everybody else over there on Patreon, even if you're just following the Patreon. You guys are awesome. Thank you. So, continuing on, let's get into it. So top to bottom, let's go through the rest of the community submissions, my friends. So we already did TDG, we already did Drama Eyes. Up next is the homie Lucha Libro, a very talented alternative artist, submitted another track. Actually, it's a brand new single, I believe. It's actually a brand new single. This is another artist that I've noticed has really put out a ton of work in such like a short amount of time. So I'm very interested here. Let's see here. This dropped November 16th, so quite literally only 9 days old. And only 2 minutes as well. Very interesting. Only 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm down. New Lucha Libro. Let's get into it.
Yo, Lucha. ¿Qué más libro? ¿O qué más? Oye, Satoshi, arranca ya. Un par de cromosomas similares se yuxtaponen, intercambian secciones. Mutante, genes lesionados, los perfectos se recombinan. Los perfectos se recombinan. Mutante, ¿cuánto tiempo hace que te ves por aquí? Vengo de sumergirme.
Insane cover.
Hasta que me quede sin mi aire para respirar y menos incluso para hablar. No me queda mucho más. No me quedo mi aire para respirar y menos incluso para hablar. No me queda mucho más. No me quedo. La cinta está atascada. La cinta está atascada. La cinta está atascada.
Ah.
La sé de memoria ya. Flores silvestres, caminos de tierra y alquitrán. Sistemas de riego, collares de animal y piedra de la artificial. ¡No!
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. That was like... It was slightly what we're used to from Lucha Libro, but you could tell that with their collaborator here that they kind of, again, went outside the box a little bit. This is definitely more of like somewhat of like a slower rock-esque kind of track, but very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well done. So, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. So a somewhat simple instrumental, but we're kind of used to that from Lucha Libro. They're always going for like a little bit more of like an acoustic, softer kind of tone, right? That's not like super, super complex. So not really a shocker there. But I will say the mix for it is definitely great on this. Like really, really great. Like the melodies are nice and clear, clean, crisp, loud, but not doing too much either. You know what I mean? So, I'm big on the instrumental mix for sure, especially towards the end. With the other melody kind of coming in, I felt like that was solid too. But yeah, overall, no gripes, you know, especially with the vocals. Vocals sat nice with the instrumentals. Nothing that I would like ultimately change here. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star, structure for sure, structure. I wasn't expecting that um, other riff to kind of come in at the end. I was not expecting that at all. So structure and how this was kind of plotted out, especially for 2 minutes, I feel like they made the most of 2 minutes. So yeah, structure clears here for me for sure, definitely. The instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Um, Vocal mix. I mean, it's definitely up to par with everything from Lucha that we've heard so far, right? Again, with them kind of going with a more acoustic raw style, this is definitely the type of vocal that you want on this. Even for this track in particular, because this one's more of like a spoken word message, almost like cipher esque track, right? So for me, um, it definitely hits that like lucha libre like aesthetic and sound that you're kind of used to. So vocal mix solid, no gripes, definitely no gripes. Has that raw effect to it, but still pretty crisp. So vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. I almost kind of want to go structure here too, but at the same time, Flo and Kingston delivery was very interesting with the spoken word style, because it felt like more of like a message track than it was um, like a melodic kind of track. So for me, probably the Flo and Kingston delivery, risky, but I definitely understand the vision for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure, vocal solid, Flo and Kingston delivery. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics. A kind of wild ass cover here. I'm not gonna lie to you, that is a wild ass cover. But again, Lucha Libre coming back in with the consistent aesthetics. I mean, they really kind of kill it with their drops. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like their last, probably like 4 or 5 releases have had like really consistent covers and always kind of go this direction of this yellowish, border mixed with the aesthetics that they want, right? So I feel like them being consistent with it is always a plus for me. You know what I mean? So definitely one that I feel like fits what Lucha Libre has been doing so far. So definitely for a single, solid for sure. There's definitely some hidden meaning behind that as far as that cover goes. Definitely. Um, so aesthetics on point. Overall theme. Obviously, with us being a English speaking podcast, we can't like dive super deep into the theme. But with this being spoken word, you could almost promise that it was probably pretty meaningful, but also at the same time, you never really know. You know what I mean? So it could kind of go either direction here, but this is definitely one that I think Lucha Libre wanted to get off their chest, whether it be in song form or spoken word or just kind of like combining the two. You know what I mean? So with that said, well done, my friend. Well done. Let's fucking get it. Huge shout out to Lucha Libre. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Lucha Libre on Twitter. They're one follower away from 200. That's a W milestone. Go get them to 200, man. Let's fucking get it. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Oh, let's fucking get it. Alrighty, my friends, let's fucking go. Kicking off and continuing with the community submissions. We left off with the homie Lucha Libre. Up next is the homie Sin, aka Survival in Negativity. A very, very talented hip hop artist has submitted something to feel. Here's another one from my bro Truth Thoughts on his latest release, A Beautiful Mess Part 2. Truth Thoughts, Something to Feel. Okay, shit. I'm down. A little Truth Thoughts submission here from the homie Sin. I'm down for sure. Yes, sir. Let's fucking get it, Drop Myers. Let's go, man. We're locked in. All right. Pop this open, a new tab. Give it a quick pause. 25 days ago, so super, super new. Very new, actually. So I'm down. Submitted by the homie Sin. True Thoughts, Something to Feel. Let's go.
Yeah. Honestly, just hearing a whole bunch of shit. Nothing real. It's just not fitting with me. Nothing. So, I'm definitely trying to find something deeper to hear, something to feel, something to feel. You feel me? Some beat checker. I feel something to hear so I can feel something deeper when it reaches like. I feel preach it to each. Reaching deep, feeling something to feel, that's all I need. All I need is a mic, like Nas said, and I fiend for the knowledge inside. My mind's weird, not clear of the status my head and my mind's in. When I listen to the music through ear, my eyes dead, trying to focus on emotions. I quiver when an artist delivers something that make me wanna shiver, taking over. Emotions overflowing as deep as the sea and ocean, roller coasting over lyrics and notes. So all I notice is the music. My
Holy
soul is
shit.
attuned to any audio, define the definitions of groove like true artists do. Following the moves, and any attitude, consuming what improves the groove that's in my avenue. A few artists have flavor for me to savor. Soulcon, Nestero, Jean Grey, and Aya. Out of sight, Sade, Black Star, Odessa. Bone Thugs and Harmony Roots by doing others. Many others. A true reason to really become a lover of the hip hop, soul, blues, jazz, and other genres. The need for my soul to fiend for something deep. As I sleep, I am resting in peace for every beat with a meaning. It's special to me. I really need anything to escape the realities of the streets. Look at me, doesn't look like I really need any beef. All I really need is something to feel, that's all I fiend. I fiend something to hear so I can feel something deeper when they reach. It's like I feel people fiending music like me for something deep when they reach. It's like I reach deep for the feelings I fiend when they speak. All they preaching is my speech is free and I preach it to each. Reaching deep, feeling something to feel, that's all I need, yeah. I fiend something to hear so I can feel something deeper when they reach. It's like I feel people fiending music like me for something deep when they reach. It's like I reach deep for the feelings I feel when they speak. All they preaching is my speech is free and I preach it to each. Reaching deep, feeling something to feel, that's all I need. All I need, all I need, all I need, that's all I need.
Wow. That was great. That was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I agree, John Myers. I totally agree. That was a very peaceful and like very relaxing kind of track, to be honest with you. Like that's definitely something you want to kick on a Sunday night and just kind of chill and really get some good vibes going. You know what I mean? A very positive track, if you will, for sure. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. The instrumental is fucking great. I mean, the sample usage, the melody, the drums, the sound selection. I mean, you could, no gripes with this at all. No gripes with this at all. Quite literally none. Vocals sit nice, drums cut through nicely. Again, sound selection solid. Samples very well utilized. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this at all. So, instrumental mix 10 out of 10, very, very solid. Love the instrumental mix for sure. Instrumental shining star. I feel like the sample, I mean, you could say the sample, right? I feel like that's kind of like an easy cop out though, because I feel like the drums are definitely up there for me. The drums are definitely keeping up the pace, but also like making sure that you have that like little bit of like energy to it as well. But I don't know. That sample is really well utilized though. Like it's not like throughout the whole track, and it's not like spammed, and very well utilized. So, let's go drums. I mean, the melody too, though. The melody too, like, really sets the tone here for like a nice, peaceful, like, positive vibe. So you really could argue melody. But let's go drums, man. I enjoy the drums here, and I feel like the drums are a very crucial part of this one, and really keeping up the pace. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great. We haven't reacted to too much True Thoughts here. I mean, when it's from Rally for Reality with Sin, we definitely have. But as far as like True Thoughts solo tracks, is definitely not an artist that we're very well versed in. But what I do know is that their vocal mix is always very solid. Again, this is an artist with a very solid natural voice as well. So you don't want to go too crazy with the amount of effects and going in the sound direction that they're going. You just want it crisp, clean, and clear and straight to the point. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what we're getting here. I have no gripes with the vocal mix at all. Like I said, vocals sit nice on the instrumental. Drums cut through nicely. Nothing ultimately that I would change here at all. Um, Again, even like the right amount of volume is like perfect on these. You know what I mean? Like it clears definitely. So vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. I mean, you could go hook, you could go writing, you could definitely go flow and cadence and delivery. Any one of those you could really make an argument for here, man. You really, really could. But I feel like the thing that like really made you take the song serious though was the flow and cadence and delivery. I feel like True was like serious, very serious on this track, and wanted the listener to pay attention, but also wanted their lyrics and writing to actually be impactful. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery for sure. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Going with these like IRL covers and then like doing like a super edit on them is also a really great way to go about using these. You know what I mean? Like you get like somebody with like even like a half decent graphic design vision, you could pop out with something like this all day. You know what I mean? We have some text in the top right and the top left, text bottom mid, parental advisory bottom left. I mean, definitely has that like project-esque kind of vibe to it as well, but um as long as you're putting your own spin on it, I feel like this could have worked for either a single or a project. You know what I mean? Um, but definitely aesthetics on point for sure, especially for this kind of like track in particular, a very like deep feels kind of track. You know what I mean? But overall theme, something to feel, very much what it says. It's for something to feel, right? I mean, I feel like the sample and the melody kind of put you in that good vibe, and then when True comes on and actually like starts spinning, you're like, okay, like you see the direction that it's going in. So it's definitely one of those like soulful, like put you in your feels kind of samples, but also like True's very motivational on this. So it's kind of hitting all of those like positive boxes. And I always think tracks like these are always super solid to put out, and like always like it's one of those types that like I feel like every artist eventually goes to, like one way or another. Just those really like not soft, but like more like emotional kind of like get you in your feels a little bit tracks, but it's not like ultimately negative either. You know what I mean? So um, with that said, huge shout out to Sin and True Thoughts. Make sure you go follow True Thoughts on SoundCloud. They're currently now 2 followers away from 40. Now that Music Mondays follows them on SoundCloud. So make sure you go follow them some love in the cloud. And make sure you go follow Survival, aka Sin, on Twitter as well. They're 7 followers away from 480. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Let's go, my friends. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here, Music Mondays. Let's fucking go. So, we're about halfway through the show. You guys know the drill. So, I'm going to need all of you to get up, go get a snack, go stretch your legs, go get a drink, maybe go get a quick smoke, go take a bathroom break, anything like that. And when we return, the Music Mondays podcast, episode 102, we'll dive right back into our community submissions. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 100, or no, episode 201. It's gonna be weird saying that now, but yes, we're back here live with episode 201. Get it, baby. So, we left off with the homie Sin. Up next would be the homie Offspring Mysterious, but Offspring sent a pretty lengthy written piece. So, we're gonna wrap back around to this when we have some time towards the end of the show. But for our next submission, we have the homie Ziggy, aka Last Letters. Ziggy of Orleans. It's been a while since we heard from Ziggy, man. It's been an actual real fucking while. We got the homie Drama Eyes and Jay. Let's fucking get it, baby. Yeah, it's been a little while since we heard from Ziggy, man. It's definitely been a while. Let's see what we got here. Let's we have Last Letters here on Spotify, and they submitted a track titled Jeanette Saint Love Songs Interlude. That's quite the title. That's definitely quite the title. I'm down. All right, let's get into it. Last Letters, Jeanette Saint Love Songs Interlude. Let's go.
Whoa, 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 dee, whoa,
Okay.
whoa, 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 dee. Too many niggas out here tripping, they won't die for you. 101, baby girl, I crash out for you. Catch me ballin' with my baby, I'm so proud of you. Wipe his nose on some shit, might slime out a few. Tell a little boy he been tripping, don't got time for you. I've been the one since before I locked it down for you. Had to retire my hoes, you know I got a few. Since high schools I've been known to knock down a few. Heartbroken in the club, sing a love song, sipping on some whiskey, got me plotting all night long. Whoa. She a smoker like me, so I bought my beer bomb. Good eye, how you think I got my nickname? All your besties wanna know about my dick game. Granddaddy always taught me about the pimp game. Father figure they been around here looking some lame. Some shit that stayed the same. Too many niggas out here tripping, they won't die for you. 101, baby girl, I crash out for you. Whoa, 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 dee. Catch me ballin' with my baby, I'm so proud of you. Wipe his nose on some shit, might slime out a few. Whoa, 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 dee. Too many niggas out here tripping, they won't die for you. 101, baby girl, I crash out for you. Catch me ballin' with my baby, I'm so proud of you. Wipe his nose on some shit, might slime out a few.
Wow. Okay, so this was crazy. It definitely has that like interlude kind of flavor. So I kind of understand the title direction here for sure, but it's not a part of any project. So it's definitely like one of those one-off kind of tracks, right? But I actually like the interlude here, like the interlude direction, I guess. But let's talk about it, man. Let's break it down. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, well, let's talk instrumental. Instrumental mix is fantastic, actually. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this. Drums are great. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that's like out of place here at all. So instrumental mix absolutely clears on this, no question. Instrumental shining star. You know, the melody is like really solid, like in terms of like pace. Definitely gets you going, makes you want to move, right? But the drums are just so well done here. Specifically the patterns and the sound selection on the drums, very solid. Very, very solid. So for me, definitely the drums, but you could definitely go with the melody too. But let's go drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is great actually. Definitely not a vocal mix that I would have any gripes with now that I'm thinking about it. Definitely like hits the mark in terms of like what I think Last Letters was going for here, for sure. Definitely nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice on top of the instrumental. Drums definitely cut through nicely. Nothing that I would like really ultimately change on here that is like nothing that I really have any gripes with. You know what I mean? So This vocal mix definitely solid, especially considering it's been a while since we heard from them. I definitely like the mix a lot for sure. So vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. Hmm. Probably flow and cadence and delivery. I do like the writing. Writing's definitely a close second, but the flow and cadence and delivery was fast paced. It felt like an interlude, and it felt like one of those ones where, you could just like flex on the track, and you didn't really have to worry too much about theme or anything like that. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely drums, vocal solid, flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. I love the cover actually. The cover's again utilizing those like IRL pictures, right? Some like off guard shit or some just like regular throwaway shit. But this is one where I feel like it's like really well utilized. Definitely deep fried. Definitely like has a bit of a an edit to it, right? And then you have the parental advisory bottom right. I feel like this clears for a single for sure, 100%. Big fans of these types for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme. I mean, it does have that interlude kind of vibe to it, right? It's not one of those ones that like is out of place. Like this could definitely be an interlude on a project or an EP or anything like that. So I do feel like Last Letters absolutely nailed that kind of theme. But as far as like the official title goes, that could probably mean a lot more to Last Letters than it does like the listener, right? But as far as this one goes, definitely one that you want to pay attention to the lyrics and the writing ability for, 100%. Just because it does have that interlude kind of not throwaway, but like kind of transition track, So definitely one you want to kind of run back for the lyrics and writing, 100% for sure. So, with that said, huge shout out to Last Letters. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And, of course, make sure you go follow Ziggy of Orleans on Twitter. They are literally 10 followers away from 610. So go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And, of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Get it, baby. All right. Let's see here. So we left off with the homie Ziggy. Up next would be the homie Laverius, but Laverius is a Music Mondays patron. So we already reacted to Laverius' track earlier in the show. So make sure you go check out that reaction and go show Laverius some love. And huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons, man. Fucking get it. So, following Laverius, we have the homie Onwuka. Now, Onwuka, a very talented hip-hop artist, has been killing it as of recently when it comes to their submissions. And we've been diving deep into their archive, man. Like, diving pretty deep. But this week, they submitted a track titled Date Night. All right, time for this crazy-ass OMB Insomnia Wooka banger. Another funny long Wooka track all set up by OMB. All our takes on what we do on a date night. I put in hella double puns in my verse. And it's okay. And we got Insomniac on the production. This will be interesting. This will be very, very interesting. I'm down. And the cover's insane, too. The cover's actually insane. Okay, so we got the homie Insomniac with the upload. Definitely some love in the comments. Okay. Let's get into it. Insomniac, Old Man Bungalow, Onwuka, and Insomniac, Date Night. Let's go.
Okay, next Friday there's gonna be a weenie roast.
Those are my most immature lines. Let's fucking go. Let's get it, baby.
We could double date with them.
This is a story about what to do on a date. It begins one early summer afternoon.
Ain't got a little bit of something to say, so listen up, motherfucker. Gonna teach you how to date, see? Pay attention if you want to get laid. You need to treat her like a lady till the floating's underway. Get up and shake a little. Do do a sexy wiggle. Show your tail feathers, baby, I can get a drizzle. Listen, your dick will be fickle. Just remember that your chisel ain't for wood the superficial. Initiation of the initial conversation starts to build up the foundation of your sexual frustration. The temptation to clap some cheeks of violation. Please keep the serpent cage in polite civilization. Anticipation of participation in relations indicates ramifications if you don't meet expectations. Pragmatic, you gotta have a plan and enacted. So just to be safe, dog, please bring a prophylactic.
I got nipples on my titties, big as the end of my thumb. I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come.
The samples are crazy.
I got nipples on my titties, big as the end of my thumb. I got something between my legs and I feel just like I want.
A date night game to show to y'all. Make sure her brain on point like she know it all. And yo, if you're tall, poster on the wall. She will cling to you like a poster on the wall. Dudes be dumb, say she stuck up like an alien pro. From the ish to the stucks, my thing is I'm nailing it slow. Shmamuka OMB, let's get into it. Man, the bride told me that she's gender fluid. Don't know me, I'm trying to cover you, my gender's fluid. Remember when you do it, stay protected like a druid. When you spring into action like Simone and Wood, tell her you ain't gotta be active with all that moaning wood. You please sit on me like furniture or cushions, girl. A sauce box got it dripping like Worcestershire, dripping like Fanta. Fanta, do you wanna? Is you sure? A strummer like Santana Nirvana till she isn't stirred.
By the gifted lover. By the gifted lover. I'm talking about sex, bitch. By the gifted lover. By the gifted lover. I'm talking about sex, bitch.
Cruise come through as Cali get nice. I make the girls wanna throw rice. Unflappable, oh it's so precise. Take my advice and you'll need ice. Talk real slick like a jet mic. Always put it first like a headlight. If you strike out, don't stress, I just swipe right on the flashlight.
I got nipples on my titties, big as the end of my thumb. I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come. I got nipples on my titties, big as the end of my thumb. I got something between my legs and I feel just like I want.
Holy shit. Okay, so that sample was crazy. We got hazardous material in the comments. Well, that covered dating. No, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Wow. So this is a great team track, right? And this is a track where I feel like everybody came together and really accomplished like a common goal as far as theme goes, and really like gave it their all. But it didn't get like too trolly. Like no matter like how interesting the subject is, I feel like Onwuka and crew definitely know how to like keep it to like a more serious like rap aspect, but also still have a lot of fun with it, right? And also still kind of like go a little bit into that trolly kind of like meme mode. So it could really go either way. But let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're talking about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. Let's talk instrumental. So a very like sample heavy instrumental, but I do feel like it does its part well, like very, very well, especially when you think about the theme and like how everything is really structured out. Instrumental is very solid. Instrumental mix, no gripes at all, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing that I would like ultimately change on this, especially with the sample in mind and everybody's vocals. Transitions are good. Nothing that's like super like you'd have like an ultimate gripe with. You know what I mean? That's not really a shocker for Onwuka and Insomniac as well. This is our first experience, I think, with OMB, but the other two definitely have a very solid mix when it comes to pretty much everything they touch. So not really a shocker, but it's something you always want to point out for anybody new here. You know what I mean? So instrumental mix solid. Even the sample considered for sure. Instrumental shining star. You know, I do like the utilization of the sample as like a mini hook almost, you know what I mean? And really kind of like hammering down that like how to dating kind of like trolley aspect of it. Like I do feel like the sample was really well utilized. But the drums kept up a lot of pace too. So you could really make an argument for the drums as well. You know, probably the sample. I think the sample was just properly utilized, and you know, it's easy to fuck up You know, it's easy to overuse a sample and like make it way too big of a part of the song. You know, it's very easy to do that. So for this one, I'm gonna go sample definitely just because it was perfectly used, for sure. No instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Um, Vocal mix across the board actually was great. Especially in terms of like quality and loudness and like how everybody transitioned. No gripes at all. I mean, other than OMB, who we don't really have too much experience with. Again, not really a shocker for this mix to be solid, but um, the more people you have on a track, sometimes the weirder it is to like transition and make sure everything is nice and level. So I feel like this one kind of did a good job, really like leveling everything out and making sure that each transition and each verse um, was similar and definitely had like a flawless run there. So for me, vocal mix was great. You know what I mean? Vocal mix was definitely on point and definitely like hit the mark in terms of like what you want to hear on this 3-person track. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Exactly. That was ridiculous, and you kind of use like, yeah, I agree. I agree. It was very well used, and like just the way it was used was just perfect. You know, 100%, 100%. So vocal mix solid, right? Vocal shining star. I mean, it's got to be writing. I mean, everybody wrote to perfection when it comes to the theme. I mean, the overall theme is very much obvious here, but staying on point while also kind of like showing off your skills as an artist sometimes can be a weird balance. But I feel like everybody on the track really kind of like did their thing in terms of like what they think the theme is and how they can relate to the theme. You know what I mean? So everybody kind of did a really good job when it comes down to staying on course, but also like getting a little loose throughout the track. So for me, probably writing 100%. I mean, flow, cadence, and delivery is definitely up there, but I feel like writing clears for sure. So um, instrumental solid, definitely the sample. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Everybody was very much on theme. Um, let's talk theme actually. So aesthetics, great choice. I mean, I like these ones. Like if you're just gonna go like regular throwaway, like quick cover, what should we do? That'll be kind of funny, but also like is actually sick. Something like this is always dope. Always dope. Like especially like back in the day when you used to like see like old Instagram like screenshots and profiles as like covers. That kind of reminds me of that, and especially for such a lighthearted topic, I feel like this is a great cover. You know what I mean? Like her account has been banned on Tinder. Like, come on, that definitely clears for sure. So, um, aesthetics definitely on point for a quick little single like this. You know what I mean? Um, Overall theme, I think is pretty well explained from Onwuka. You know what I mean? It's definitely like having that like troll esque kind of theme, but also like it's all very serious as well. Like in terms of like the effort put into the track, right? I mean, it's obviously just a joke, but you know how it goes. You definitely want to like do it right if you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like everybody did here. You know, all our takes on what to do on a date night, right? And then like the sample kind of like ties it all up after the 3 verses, and you kind of get like a pretty clear picture of date night and and what the goal was here. You know what I mean? So again, this crew is filled with writers that just know how to really write about almost any single theme out there for sure. So super well done. And these kind of like 2+ person tracks are always like a good time, you know, especially when everybody kind of like is on the same vibe, you know. So well done. Well done, my friends. Make sure you go follow Insomniac on SoundCloud, and thank you so much, Onwuka, for the submission. They are 5 followers away from 530, and make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 760, so go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Monday YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you, my friends. We appreciate you for supporting Music Mondays, and we see you guys dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz, man. So let's fucking get it. Even if you're just viewing the videos, we appreciate you, my friends. Let's go. So, another excellent submission from the homie Onwuka, man. Quite the writer. Quite the motherfucking writer. Sick. Okay. There's another one to the collection, man. Definitely. So up next we got the homie Ice. Now Ice and Sean are a very talented experimental hip hop duo that kind of dive into a couple different genres, right? But this week they submitted a track titled "Psychotic." I'm down. They've been on a tear in 2024, man. This is quite the duo here on the show, and they've definitely been showing showing a lot of their cards lately in terms of like what they can do together, and I'm definitely excited. So let's get into it. Sean, Ice, Psychotic, let's go. That crazy 90 D's had to go on funny one mode. Let's get it on Luca, man. Thank you so much, my friend.
What society says, 'cause if I did, I think that I would be alive. I'm gonna say it right, take my wings and fly, 'cause you know we're fly. I'm a psycho, I do a lot of things that make us both lie though. You think I'm normal, I'm a motherfucking psycho, you know. I'm a psycho, that I like though. Life goes too fast, yeah, I call it always. Life is so insane, I'm losing always. I'm a psycho, you know. I'm a psycho, that they don't like though.
I'm a psycho, you don't like the way I talk. I don't care, no. I don't live for you, I live for myself. Oh, I like to be apart, I'm not ashamed, no. I like to be apart from everyone. I don't really care what you think of me.
Damn.
'Cause if I care, I will be dead. I will be trapped in my mind. I don't wanna be the same, I wanna be apart. I don't really care, I wanna be apart from you and everyone. I wanna be free in my mind, free in my mind. I wanna be free from everyone. I like to be apart, I like to stay quiet. I like to be shy, so really don't judge. I like to be quiet, I really wanna talk. I really don't wanna talk.
I'm a psycho. Might be
I agree.
insane,
I agree.
Let me live my way.
Wow.
Psycho. Let me psycho. I'm a psycho. I do a lot of things that make people like though. You ain't normal, I'm a motherfucking psycho. I do a lot of things that niggas don't like though. You ain't normal, I'm a motherfucking psycho.
Wow. Impressive, man. That's quite the duo. That is quite the fucking duo. Always a good time with Sean and Ice, man. Always a good time. You know, again, that's where it's almost like teetering on experimental because they just take their style and they just attack whatever instrumental that they see fit. You know what I mean? And Anuka mentioned in the chat about the vocals. I agree. Like, such a good, interesting melodic vibe, you know? So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. All right. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of Psychotic. So, instrumental is great. You know, like it's not really a shocker anymore what kind of instrumentals these two kind of hop on now because we've pretty much seen everything from cloud rap to R&B, alternative rock, OG trap, old school hip hop. Like they've done pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Like, and they'll probably continue to explore other styles. But I like the choice from these two, no question. But the mix is fucking really on point actually. Like thinking about the 808s back and just the sound selection, the mix is really, really there for me. Like really, really there. No gripes at all. Like that, like that's one of those mixes where like you get that and you don't touch it. You're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? That sounds gas. Like everything just hits perfectly. Nothing's in the way. Vocals sit nice. Um, so yeah, no gripes on this instrumental at all. Especially with like how big of a player the drums are in this one. Man. So, instrumental mix very solid. Instrumental shining star. Drums all day. I love the melody for sure. The melody's definitely bringing a lot of the mood and the energy here. But the drums and the way that they're placed and the way that they come in and the way that they go out, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Especially the 808, it's perfect. You know, I'm definitely a sucker for drums that kind of like play like a big part, and that one definitely did for sure. Like excellent drums there, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again for both Sean and I say fantastic. You know, again back to the instrumental statement and conversation. Like again, you could kind of talk about them mix in that same fashion as to where we've seen them be mixed properly on pretty much everything. You know, it's not like they don't sound the same on any kind of style that they're doing. You know, so they're very, very consistent duo when it comes to their mix as well. So not really a shocker, but something I always want to point out for anybody new here. But a very solid mix for sure, no question. Vocal shining star. I mean, like the hook. The hook is something that just keeps coming back to me is the hook. I feel like the hook really clears here, and is something that I feel like the average listener would come back for. You know, this is one of those like relaxing end of the night, end of the day, smoke sesh kind of tracks. You know what I mean? Especially if you're feeling a little bit emotional, you're going through some shit. This is one where you could definitely zone out for sure. And I feel like the hook is a big part of that. So let's go hook, 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, psychotic. I mean, I've always been such a big fan of their covers, but this one kind of caught me off guard because it's super simple, right? Obviously, you have the handprint there, but then you have like the duo kind of like walking together. Like the more you look at it, the more you kind of see here, and especially for like a psychotic, esque theme here. I feel like this like touches that like bit of craziness like just perfectly. You know what I mean? It's a little bit creepy, but a little bit like beautiful at the same time. So aesthetics definitely on point. Sean and I say definitely know how to have a solid art direction for like what they create as a duo for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, psychotic. I mean, it's kind of like giving into that name that people give you when you're kind of going through it, right? You could be going through it and not be acting like yourself or acting out of character, just being X, Y, or Z or da 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 da. And people will be like, oh, you're a psycho, or you're this, or you're a monster, or X, Y, or Z. So I feel like they both kind of tapped into that energy of like, okay, then fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I am who I am kind of deal. And, ultimately, you just want to be comfortable being yourself no matter where you're at in life. It's one of those tracks to me that kind of like solidified that these two are like comfortable with where they're at, who they are. And that's a trait that'll get you so far in life. You know what I mean? Just mind your business, be comfortable with you, be confident, and like no matter what or anybody says about you, especially during like your dark times, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? So I think kind of giving into that idea a little bit makes you accept yourself a little bit more. So it's kind of a deeper meaning, as a listener, when you really think about it. But also, it's definitely one of those like face value tracks that you could kind of just take it for what it is. But well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to Sean and I say. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow I say on Twitter. They are approaching 1.2K on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers, my friends. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there. Channel. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Huge shout out to everybody that's already, dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good jazz on the channel, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you. So, we left off with the homie I Say. Up next would be the homie Jordan, but Jordan is a Music Mondays Patreon. So we already reacted to Jordan earlier in the show. So make sure you go show Jordan and the rest of the Music Mondays Patrons some love. Let's get it. And following Jordan would be the homie Bloodcat, but Bloodcat actually submitted a little while before, or a little while after submissions closed. So they submitted at 5:42 EST, and submissions actually closed at 3:30. So if we have some time more towards the end of the show, we'll wrap back around to Bloodcat and make sure we go check out their submission. But make sure you guys get your submissions in on time, and you have about like 6.5 days. So you guys know the drill. But up next is the homie Absono. Now, Absono has been coming through with a lot of recent instrumentals. A very talented producer has been submitting to Music Mondays for quite some time. But this week they come back with another instrumental titled Need It. Let's get it. And I've also been noticing a lot of these have been collabs and working with other producers. I think that's fantastic. So, we got some links in the description. Love that. A little bit of love in the comments. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Absono, Need It. Let's go. Oh, shit. Starting off hot. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that one comes in hot and leaves just as hot, man. It's just like in and out, like see you later. This is one of those like cypher freestyle-esques that I could see the proper artist really destroying this. You know what I mean? Like really, really destroying this. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about two things because obviously no vocals. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental mix. Fantastic. Two prods working on this, so there's no way that the mix was going to be a little bit iffy, but you never know. But this one in particular, fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Sound selection's great. Melodies are solid. I like the drum selection, like I said. Yeah, no gripes here thinking back on it. Not really a shocker for somebody like Absono, but, something you always want to point out for any first-time listeners out there for sure. So, instrumental mix, very solid, very consistent. Instrumental shining star. The melody definitely gets caught in your head by the end of the instrumental, but I do feel like the drums were really up there in terms of pace and keeping the rhythm up for sure. So go with the drums, and the sound selection was great too. So yeah, drums, absolutely. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. You know, Absolona's been doing a better and better job kind of like picking these like lighter aesthetic photos to like use for instrumental covers, you know, just like putting a little bit more emphasis around certain drops or just solo drops is always a good thing. You know what I mean? So something like this, very solid. And you could always switch it out, you know, if you ever need like a placeholder, you know, X, Y, or Z. So for a single, and especially for a collab, definitely solid. Aesthetics on point. Simple, straight to the point. Aesthetically pleasing as well. Overall theme, Need It. Definitely has that motivational factor to it. You know, I could see how you could come up with Need It as a title. You know, it has that motivating, push through the bullshit kind of factor feel. You know, so I feel like they did a good job kind of constructing a theme around this. You know, I feel like Need It is definitely like, it feels like an urgent instrumental, you know, so well done. Well done, my friends. Huge shout out to Absolno. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go follow Absolno on SoundCloud. They're 6 followers away from 60. And of course, make sure you go follow Absolno on Twitter. They're approaching 480 followers. They're about 4 away. So go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here on Music Mondays, my friends. Let's fucking go. So, continuing on, let's do this. We left off with the homie Absolno. Up next would be the homie James Avellino, but they submitted Valor, which we reacted to during episode 200 of the Music Mondays podcast. So make sure you go show James some love and go check out episode 200 if you'd like to see us react to Valor. Feel free to resubmit it next week or tomorrow, technically, with a track that we have yet to react to, and we'll be happy to run it here on the Music Mondays podcast, man. Let's get it. So, after the homie James, up next we have Saint Wave. Now, been a while since we heard from the homie Saint Wave. They've been doing a really, really solid rollout for their recent project, but a very talented experimental hip-hop artist submitted Current C from their recent project, Wavelength. I'm down. Let's get into it. Crank it open a new tab. It's been a while since we heard from the homie Saint Wave. Let's go see what they are up to. So, Wavelength being a 9-track project, we have the, here's the intro, but it's linked as Current C. So, well, I mean, like, you have, like, the intro, but, like, oh, shit, so, all right, so we'll just go with Current C, and if you want to resubmit next week, we'll do the intro as well, but let's do Current C, since that's what they submitted. Let's go, man. Saint Wave, Current C. Let's get into it. Go.
Think about a dollar every day, every day. Think about a dollar every day, every day. Think about a dollar, think about a dollar every day. Think about a dollar, think about it every day, every day. Drink on nice in the sun, about to rise. Topic of discussion, where you reside. 4:45 on my phone, about to die. High like satellite, one hell of a night. Came through, left the halo for the night. Feel the euphoria, looking into her eyes. Then in London or wherever else I like. And I heard that the money make you travel light. Grind and struggle for life I like. Got me anxious in the middle of the night. Demons in your bottle, but fuck it, I'm getting right. It's champagne on ice, my niggas, we get right. Life ain't about paper, it'll never buy your dreams. Life ain't about paper, it'll never buy you peace. Think about a dollar every day, every day. Think about a dollar every day, every day. Think about a dollar, think about a dollar every day, every day. Think about a dollar, think about it every day, every day, every day. Drifting away, drifting away, drifting away. Ooh, wave after wave, wave after wave, away, away. Mountain boy with big city dreams. Traded forest trees, the city steams. Love talk, these are the open sea. Through the inner city, in the limousine. West side highway, moonbeam on me. With a same wave piece, bet the bank on me. People used to like, probably hate on me. Sleep ain't free, and it's costing me. I think about it. Every day, every day. Think about $1. Every day, every day. Think about $1. Think about $1. Every day, think about $1. Think about it every day, every day.
Wow. See, that was unique. That was unique. I like that a lot. A little bit of couple different style blends there. That was wow.
Currently I'm in the gym, outside smiling, paranoid. They gon' judge me in a crisis, treat me like I'm ISIS, claiming they more righteous. Bombs keep falling and I numb it with the silence. World still burning, is the currency worth the burden? The bills make it difficult to focus. Damn, this must be showbiz. Trying to stay connected to my motive and my purpose.
Great switch up too. Wow. Okay. Wow. Excellent. You know, again, I didn't know what to expect, right? Because it's been a while since we heard from the homie Saint Wave, but phew, you know, it definitely did not disappoint, my friends. Definitely did not. All right, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We're talking about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Curren$y. So, instrumental. I love the choice. You know, again, another artist that's used to kind of thinking outside the box and pushing themselves to go outside the box, right? Saint Wave is definitely no stranger to that. So I love the choice off rip 100%. Instrumental mix, very interesting. Solid. Loud, clear, crisp, clean. Sound selection's good. Structure definitely stands out a lot. Nothing ultimately that I would change too much. As far as like just the instrumental itself goes. Melody's great. Again, sound selection solid. Nothing super clashy here. But it kind of hits that sweet spot too. So, yeah, definitely solid though. Definitely solid. So instrumental makes solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, melody's up there. Drums are up there for sure. But we gotta go structure. Again, this definitely felt like a story. And especially like the switch up towards the end, I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? I was definitely not expecting the switch up. So for me, the instrumental structure clears here. Tells a story without going too off the wall and too unconventional. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. So Saint Wave has always had a really solid vocal mix. Crisp, clean, clear. Nothing too crazy here in terms of gripes. I mean, the vocals could be like a slightly tad bit louder because I feel like they're like almost competing with the instrumental. But sometimes with these like theatrical kind of instrumentals, they can be a bit tough to nail down when it comes to that. So overall, no gripes here. Definitely no gripes here. Nothing super clashy. Nothing super overbearing. Drums definitely cut through nicely. Everything kind of sits solid. Quality's good, so not too many gripes there. The vocal mix up to par. Vocal shining star. Probably the writing. Definitely the writing. I mean, the hook and the flow and cadence are up there, but the writing was very skillful in terms of like bars that were written and some of the punchlines that like might go over your head. You know what I mean? But it's also mixed with like a lot of honesty as well. But I feel like they hit like a good middle ground, and it really showed off like their peak style and what they really had for a vision for this track. You know, it was a good blend of both. So, for me, writing, definitely writing for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. Wavelength, 9 songs, 25 minutes. Cover is crazy. This is it looks like some like Blender esque kind of deal, but it's very simple and very eye catching. And it has that like big time, big dog album feel to it, especially with like Saint Wave in the middle and just kind of like constructing this like almost statue like entity around him, and the all white just really hits for me. So album worthy, absolutely no question. So aesthetics on point for sure. Um Overall theme, current C. I mean, there's a couple analogies and a couple of themes you could try to explore here that you could like connect a few dots towards, but also it just feels like a somewhat of like a current mindset of Saint Wave and like what their current mindset is in 2024 and when they made this project. You know what I mean? It's definitely one of those like life update of like where I'm at and like how I feel about certain topics. You know what I mean? Because sometimes as an artist, you always got to like revisit topics with new emotions and how you feel about certain things. So as far as like an intro and as like a first official track to the project, definitely as a first time listener would make me want to continue to listen to the project. So obviously a great start here. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Saint Wave. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Make sure you go follow Saint Wave on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Saint Wave on Twitter. They're approaching 1.1K on the Bird app, my friends. So make sure you go show them some love over there on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be links in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. And if you already have, thank you for showing love to the Music Mondays channel and the Music Mondays platform, my friends. Let's fucking go. Alrighty, my friends. We left off with the homie Saint Wave. Well done. Up next, we would have the homie Tim Limb 12, but Tim does not follow Music Mondays on Twitter. Music Monday submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Not only to pay respect to every artist that does submit to the platform, but also you're helping spread our message and you gain access to a wonderful, wide, friendly community of underground creatives. So kind of a win-win. But again, feel free to follow us and resubmit next week, and we'll be happy to get your track here on the show. So let's get it. So up next is Vix Geo Ham. Now, it's been a while since you heard from Vix, man. I believe Vix has made a couple SoundCloud Sundays, but I'm not sure when's the last time we've actually had them here on the podcast. So I'm very, very interested. Geo Ham official. Let's see what we got here. They submitted a track titled Volatile. Let's get it. All right, so we got Vix Geo Ham, Volatile. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So a 3-track EP here. Okay. It is a collab EP. I love that. All right, so they submitted track 1, Volatile. So let's get into it. Vix Geo Ham, Volatile. Let's go.
Disappear and the darkness fade. The pain was just temporary, and so happiness was pictured.
Do you know our mind doesn't always stand for right? Sometimes it turns to something chemical, magical, and all of a sudden twisted away. But that is just temporary.
Interesting. Very, very interesting direction there. Wow. Wow. Very almost ethereal and mysterious, but also very ambient and like kind of peaceful. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We're talking about two things because not many vocals here to kind of dissect. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Volatile. So, instrumental, very simple, minimalistic, but also very well rounded, right? Definitely very well rounded. So, instrumental mix, solid, not too shabby, to be honest with you. Nothing super, super clashy, nothing like super loud or sticking out or anything like that. Especially for like kind of a minimalist instrumental, you kind of want to keep a tight mix, but this one's very solid, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nothing I would like ultimately fix about this at all. No gripes when it comes to the instrumental mix at all. Instrumental shining star. Probably the melodies, to be honest with you. The melodies all worked really well together. Structure's like a close second, but the melodies and the sound selection really worked well together as far as like an ambient, peaceful kind of track. So definitely melodies for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, this is track 1 of a 3-track EP titled Volatile, and it's the title track Volatile. I love the cover, a very non-conventional kind of cover, right? With the track list right there on the front, and then the 2 artist names at top, Trilogy, and then the kind of sketch of 2 people, almost one's younger, just kind of like looking at the sunset and like there's birds in the background. It's obviously hand-drawn, right? So for a small EP like this, definitely hits the nail on the head for me, for sure. So aesthetics absolutely on point. Volatile, this is one where obviously this is the title track of the project, but also volatile, the term could mean a couple different things to both of them. It could be someone acting volatile towards you, you could be acting volatile, or just like the feeling that you had when you made it, you know what I mean? So very interesting theme, but well done, my friends, well done. Huge shout out to Vix and their collaborator here. Huge shout out to them. Make sure you go follow Vix on Spotify. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you go follow Vix on Twitter. They're approaching 1.4K on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured, like I said, in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 300 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel, man. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. If you already have, thank you. We appreciate you. Mondays, my friends. Let's fucking go. So, with that said, that concludes episode 201 of the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. Let's give some shout outs. Let's show some love to everybody that submitted. Let's close it out. Let's talk about what's coming this week on Music Mondays, and let's get into it. So, I want to show some love to the chat first because we had quite the night in chat tonight. So literally huge shout out to everybody that came through, showed love, and submitted. Man, so let's see here. We kicked off the stream with Dry My Eyes, and they came through with 1,000 biddies. Thank you so much for 1,000 bits, man. You're a fucking legend. Thank you. Huge shout out to Dry My Eyes, man. Huge shout out to TDG. Thank you for coming through and showed up, my friend. Much love. Huge shout out to Devil Killer. Thank you for stopping by and showing love. Huge shout out to Onwuka. Thank you so much for stopping by and showing love. And anybody else, like I said, that lurked and chilled, and even if you just stopped by and threw the stream up, man, you guys are awesome. Thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. So huge shout out to everybody in the chat per usual. Huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays patrons tonight. Huge shout out to DDG, aka Tilda Grave, Dry My Eyes, Laveries, and Jordan. And huge shout out to the rest of our patrons, Ryuki, King Mark, and Kruger. You guys are fucking wonderful, man. Thank you. And huge shout out to everybody else that submitted tonight. TDG, Dry My Eyes, Lucha Libro, Sin, Offspring Mysterious, Ziggy, Laveries, Onwuka, Isay, Jordan, Bloodcat, Absono, James Avelino, Nate Wave, Tim Lim, and Vix. Thank you guys so much for your submissions tonight, man. You guys are fucking amazing. Thank you. What a show, man. That was a fucking excellent show. You guys know the drill. So lots of content this week. Our next big drop is going to be the Music Mondays Patreon. Kind of not rebrand, but Patreon update, if you will. So that'll be something very awesome that all should be looking forward to. And of course, per usual, we have a brand new article going out this Friday and a couple of YouTube videos going up this week as well. Make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled. Make sure you follow Music Mondays on all social media platforms: Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, TikTok. We're all there. We're everywhere. Make sure you go follow us on your favorite platform. Of course, if you'd like to submit for Music Mondays episode 202, submission will be live tomorrow on November 26th, 2024. So again, make sure you follow us on socials. Stay up to date when those do drop. And of course, you can catch episode 201 available on all audio platforms this Thursday: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all that good jazz. Anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. And of course, you can catch the YouTube version this Saturday as well on our channel of almost 300 subscribers. Make sure you go check out the channel. Show these artists some love, baby. Let's get it. And of course, make sure you follow, subscribe below to my channel. I'm live quite literally 5-6 days a week. Watch party stuff, obviously the home of the Music Mondays podcast, speedrunning, gaming, all that good jazz here on the show. So, per usual, follow, subscribe below, everything linked below. Follow me on all platforms at ZomSlays. And of course, make sure you tune in tomorrow, because I'll be live tomorrow per usual. But we'll be live next week for episode 202 of the Music Mondays podcast. So again, huge shout out to all you guys that came through, showed love, and all that good jazz, man. We are road to 300. Let's fucking get it, man. I love you all. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next week and tomorrow for episode 202 of the Music Mondays podcast. Be safe. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.